Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's third video. We're going to have a look at weather for 10 to 14 days for today's third video. Day 10 will take us to the 11th of October, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles because they run to around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks, and also the opening salvo for November from the CFS at the end of the video as well. I'll get on with that for you in a moment. Just to say that the first video today was our 6 AM upload, and we've also released the weekend forecast as well. I was hoping to be able to bring you Tony Scully's October forecast, but I have not yet got it, and time is getting on. I'm going to get the winter update sorted out a little bit later on this afternoon into the evening, so I probably won't be able to bring you Terry Scully's October forecast until Monday. So I'm very sorry about that, everybody. Right, okay, let's get on with your 10 to 14 day of those. So we're going to have a look at the situation across the tropical Atlantic first of all. So Ian is now post-tropical, just here. So that is post-tropical cyclone Ian, still giving maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour. And if we click on Ian and go here, we can see that this is pretty much done now. So Ian is across North Carolina at the moment. We'll move into Virginia and will pretty much die a death after that. So Ian will very shortly be disappearing off this map. We've got a yellow X down here. That's our next area to keep an eye on, I think. That is disturbance 1 with a 70% chance of cyclone formation in the next 5 days. That could well become our next tropical storm next week. CT for September is in. They got it in nice and early this month. So the central temperature for September came in at 14.4. There we go, 14.4. A little bit above average. That's primarily down to what was an exceptionally hot first week. And then the second half of the month was actually quite cool, really. It was one of the coolest Septembers, second half of Septembers for a long time. But because it started off so incredibly hot in that first week and was above 18 Celsius for the CT at the end of the first week, that's the reason, that's the reason that it's still come out above average. How's that compared? Well, significantly cooler than September 2021, of course, at 16.0. And a little bit warmer though than 2020, which came out at 14.0. Very close to 2019 at 14.3. What about October? So let's have a quick look at that. Last year we had a very warm October with a 12 Celsius CET, but it's only 2019 had quite a cold October at 9.8. It's Elizabeth Taines having quite a cold October. We also had a pretty cold October in 2012 at 9.5. That was quite a chilly autumn. That one. But before that, we had like a warm October in 2011, close to average in 2010, and so on. Our last really cold October actually was 2003, with a central temperature of only 9.1, barely into the 9s with that one. The warmest October is and remains 2001. At 13.2. So we have had some pretty warm Octobers since then, especially 2005 as well at 13.0. But October 2001 still holds the record as the warmest October on record. Last time we had an exceptionally cold October was in 1992 with a CT of 7.7. Had loads and loads of frosty nights in October 1992. And 1993 had quite a cold October as well at 8.3. We had a succession of quite cold autumns in the early 1990s, but or 92, 93 anyway. But since then, we haven't really had many cold autumns at all. 1995 was a very warm October at 12.8, following a cooler September at 13.6. And of course, that resulted in a cold winter for 95, 96. So anyway, we'll wait and see where October's CT comes in. It'll be placed just there, and in around a month's time, we will know one way or t'other what's happened in October. But for September, the CT ended up at 14.4. Still above average and continues to run on above average months. Every month this year has been above average for the CT. In terms of 61 to 1990 average, anyway, January at 4.7 was a bit cooler than average against particularly 91 to 2020 though. So that was a little bit cooler. But otherwise, it's been generally a very warm year. We'll find out in around a month's time what October has done. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles. Next couple of weeks, red line is the first year upper air temperature average for Edinburgh. We'll be close to a little bit below average with the upper air temperatures at the moment. They're going to rise into the open next week. It will become quite warm a couple of days next week. And then the upper air temperatures will drop as we go from the first week into the second week of October and onto the middle of the month, very close to average then. Precipitation-wise, it looks pretty dry for the next 2 or 3 days, but next week or later next week, and around midweek onwards, going to get more unsettled. And then actually, the rest of like the first half of October does look quite mixed there, with regular rainfall spikes lasting even into the second half of the month. Temperature anomalies from the 1st to the 9th of October are going to be above average. Precipitation anomalies from the 1st to the 9th of October, wetter than average for the central and northern half of the country, but drier than average in the south and the southeast. The latest wind from map from earth.nolschool.net shows that the drawing winds from off the Atlantic today. So we've lost those cold or chilly northeasterlies that we have through the past few days, through the final week or so of September. We've replaced them with something milder from off the Atlantic. That's our latest UK Met Euro run. It's looking midnight on Tuesday. High pressure declining there as low pressure develops to our north and west, returning increasingly wet and windy around the middle part of next week with this area of low pressure. And then into the second half of the week, low pressure digs in from the north, and we possibly start putting in some colder air from the north by next weekend. Could back deliver our first proper overnight frost of the season. We'll have to wait and see. Icon looks like that once more. High pressures ridging in from the southwest on Tuesday, but looks rather unsettled out to the north and west. And then as we go through into middle of week, quite wet and windy, but still relatively mild. Later next week, have high pressure, or next weekend, this is as far as we get to Icon. To midday on Saturday, high pressure just to our southwest, so we bring in like a westerly type flow from off the Atlantic coast. Remain driving south, a little bit showery up in the north. A GFS midnight run showing an unsettled spell through the middle part of next week. This area, low pressure, potentially bringing quite a wet day on Wednesday. And then we're into Atlantic driven flow really as we go up towards day 10, of a high pressure which is back in for a couple of days, being something a little bit dry but colder, perhaps around day 10. And then in the extreme range, we're back into unsettled weather again, with low pressure continuing to drive in from off the Atlantic. GFS looks very zonal and Atlantic driven today. GFS 6Z looking like that. So again, not dry weather in the south on Tuesday, but rain in the north, and then this area of low pressure could give a real soaking around the middle part of next week, around next Wednesday. That gets out of the way by Thursday, and we go into a showery westerly type flow. And we keep low pressure driving in from off the Atlantic really as we move up towards day 10 with further areas of low pressure, especially so up in the north, and that carries on into the extreme range as well. Maybe right at the very end, 15th of October, or towards the very end, signs something a bit colder coming in from the northwest. Maybe a bit of cool down around the middle part of the month, but that's how look as get to 17th of October. Wow. I'm so sorry, everyone, as far as we get to with GFS today. And looks a little bit on the cool side, actually. Looks a little bit on the cold side, that. Especially so for more northern and eastern areas. If you enjoyed the video, please can you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so very much for doing that, everyone. And why not drop a comment? Let us know what you think and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. Thank you so much. Right, GM showing high pressure declining on Tuesday, as low pressure brings quite a bit of wet and windy weather around middle part of next week. Then second half of next week into like next weekend, low pressure driving in from the north, that brings increasingly cool northwesterly winds across the country with showers and longer spells of rain. And then up toward day 10, high pressure ridge in property, and so it'll be quite a cool ridge of high pressure, maybe some overnight frost with that, with low pressure then out in the Atlantic, looking like it's ready to stage another attack. Atlantic's definitely back in business if these model runs are right today, I think. ECM looking like this. So once again, the middle part of the week suggesting quite a wet spell potentially on Wednesday from this developing area of low pressure, like a wave along a trade weather front that's going to form an area of low pressure through the middle part of next week. So that could bring some very wet and windy weather on Wednesday. Then into showery conditions, second half of next week. We get towards the end of the ECM run. And again, low pressure clearing out Scandinavia and pulling in this northerly wind. High pressure ridges in from off the Atlantic. So a little bit colder there by days 9 and 10 with the ECM. Maybe cold enough for some ground frost and whatnot. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from TomatoShow.com. There will be rain in the south tonight. How far north that wet weather is going to get is causing a lot of headaches at the moment. Early next week, wet weather will be to the north and west, sort of dry weather further south and east until Wednesday, and then all areas turn very wet and windy, maybe even a little bit stormy on Wednesday. That wet weather will push through to get through to Thursday, and we're left with showery conditions, particularly so in the north and west. Into next weekend, further showery weather coming and going. And, you know, it's not quite as settled really as we get day 10. That area of low pressure clearing away to the east and pulling in those cooler northern winds, a little bit of winteriness in some of the showers across central northern Scotland by the 11th, by day 10. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensemble today for day 10. Gets us to the 11th of October from the Icelandic Met of this. 13 members of the ECM ensembles have high pressure regime from the southwest, low pressures away to our east. A little bit showery and a little bit on the cool side with that. Another 13 with low pressure to our east, high pressure to our west, southwest. Again, that looks rather cool and showery. 10, including the operational run, pushing low pressure to the east, high pressure regime from the west. That looks quite unsettled and also cool. 9 with low pressure to the north and high pressure to the south. That's probably going to be about the warmest option for the south anyway. That would be quite mild. And then 6 have us more or less under an area of high pressure. That's probably quite a cool ridge though and could produce overnight frost and fog. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. It will go to the 16th of October. 16 members of the ECM ensembles have high pressure to our southwest, low pressure to our north and northeast. Again, looking rather showery and a little bit on the cool side. 13 with low pressure over to the east of the country. Very cool and showery with that. Very cool and unsettled. 10 with high pressure regime from the Atlantic into West Europe. A lot of dry weather with that. Winds coming in from the east. Could be quite cold though. 8 with high pressure just to our west and north, low pressure over to the east of the country, and winds coming in from quite a cold north or northeasterly direction, with that bit of a hint of northern blocking actually there. And then 4 just here has us under an area of high pressure, mainly dry, but probably a little bit on the cold side under that high pressure. CFS V2 finally, these are 500 millibar high zones broken down into weekly periods. The first week period will take us from the 1st to the 7th of October. So sorry everyone. The coming week will have low pressure to the north and northwest. High pressure will be to the south and southwest, and winds will be coming in from off the Atlantic. Main dry in the south, most are settled in the north, and relatively mild. Week 2 is going to be the 8th to the 14th of October. High pressure to the south, low pressure to the north. Most unsettled conditions with that is in the north. Driest weather will be in the south. Week 3 is going to be the 15th to the 21st of October with high pressure more or less right in over top of the country. Should remain dry there. And then week 4 will be the 22nd, 28th of October. Again, a lot of high pressure domination with that. And yeah, should be relatively mild. I think that brings up wind from like a southwesterly direction. We're on the warm side of the jet stream. The jet stream will be up here somewhere with below pressures. It should be a relatively warm breeze, but of course we might get overnight frost and fog patches and that, given how late into the year we are going. Before we go, do you want to see the CFS's latest, first opening salvo for November? Here we go. If you want to, that's it. And very interesting, look at that, for November we find CFS today. Remember, we change every day, get updated every day, so this is just today's offering. The 700 millibar high anomaly placing a large blocking area, high pressure around Greenland, and has low pressure through Scandinavia and into Western Europe. That will bring the wind in from a northeasterly direction, and that, I would have thought, would be a cold November. Temperature anomaly is about average or has no signal. Iceland gets a colder than average month, as does much of Scandinavia, though. I reckon that'd be a cold month if that anomaly came off. And the precipitation anomaly doesn't have all that much of a signal. It's drier up here, though. You know, we've got the blocking around Iceland and Greenland, and also towards Scandinavia as well. The hints are there, but we have like northern blocking in November and a cold month on our hands. If that came off, and of course that is a big if, because it's only the first prediction from the CFS for November. As today is the 1st of November, it's only the first prediction, and you can expect that to change many times between now and October the 31st. So we shall see, and time will tell. If you enjoyed the video, please can you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for doing that. Why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell your friends and family to subscribe as well. If everyone who subs brings a friend, we will get to our next million target of 14,500 subscribers so much more quick. We've got to put on around 27 subscribers, I think, now, to get ourselves to 14.5k. And the ultimate target, of course, is 15,000 subscribers. It's going to be amazing when we get there, because we'll do a giveaway at 15k. But we've got another 520, 30 or something to put on before we can get to 15k. So we're on the grind. We're on the grind. That's grinding with you to 15k. Right, we're done then. So I may bring you Toast Skies October forecast later on. I think it's more likely that you'll see that now on Monday. However, so much coming tomorrow. We're going to have a 6 AM upload, and we will have the 5th Winter 2022-2023 update for you as well. It's going to be epic. I'm going to crack on with getting that together in about an hour or so's time, and I shall get it recorded later on this afternoon into this evening, and it's going to be great. You'll be able to see that 10 AM tomorrow, and we're going to bring you loads and loads of interesting data with that one. And we'll be live streaming, not tomorrow, I'm not doing some live streams at the moment. We'll be live streaming on Monday at 8 PM, where we will discuss the winter update. So I'm giving myself Sunday off at the moment. So, yeah, live stream based on discussion of the winter update is going to be on Monday. You enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I shall see you tomorrow with that winter update. But for this video, that's all for now. And thanks so much.